But welcome. Mr. Brown is our host. I'm your co host,
We
Edwidge
have to do a
Michelle.
lot of editing tonight.
Yes. And Nellie Bestman, I know, is in the building as well. Um, we are a tenacious bunch. I'm going to say it again. And we're still here to help you. We have 12 people now, so they're coming back. Come on in. Come
Just
on
like
in.
that.
There you go. We're here to help you. Do you have a dream? We're here to help you realize that dream. If you have any goals this year, this is where you want to be. You want to be on Vision Builders lives with us every Tuesday. So I see there's some questions already going in the chat.
Yeah.
And before we had another question, I'll put that in the chat as well. So if anybody would like to just, engage that way. But Devon has a huge question.
I'm looking at it. Is it better
Uh-huh.
to buy undeveloped land as opposed to renovating abandoned land that already has plumbing?
Hmm.
If it's abandoned land, it's going to be pretty hard for it to have plumbing. Probably going to have sewer and probably some lines. So you're going to have to be a little more specific. There's an old saying, new construction is better than reconstruction. That is not true in every case, right? In some cases, new construction costs way more money to do, and it depends on the severity of it. But if you're talking about land with plumbing, you're talking about relatively new construction still. That's new construction and the cost that comes with new construction. Now, what I need you to tell me, let's have a conversation. What do you mean by plumbing? The water lines are running to a vacant land? That's not usually the case. You might still have, like I said, lines going to the main sewer. But with any construction where it's just land, they're running new um, overall plumbing. So, what do you mean by that? It's land, but it has plumbing. And if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, then yeah, there is some saving in that, but you still overall the construction is a big brand new construction, and most of what you because let's say how long has that plumbing been sitting there? Is it rotted? Is it decayed? Does the new lines need to be run? All of these things play a part, right? And I'd like to know where is this? Like not the address, but like what city is it in, right? Because most places have a plumbing line run to them, a main plumbing line. So especially if it's a land where something used to be. So give me a few more answers to this. Somebody said you look so familiar. You work for TSA. Who are you talking? Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to Edwidge? I never worked for no TSA.
Neither have I.
Okay,
But
so
someone close to me who resembles me may have worked for TSA. I'll leave it there.
you got fam that may have been some TSA people. It all
Yes.
depends on if you got roughed up or not. If you got roughed up or something, they didn't treat you right. We don't know nothing about it.
Right.
If you had a good experience, could be her family.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he said
That's
female.
good.
You. He's talking about you, Ellis.
Oh,
Yes.
me? No, no. But someone who probably resembles me might have worked for TSA. I'm gonna leave it there. If you don't know who it is, then we not
We're gonna leave it right there.
we not doing names or nothing like that. Nope. But yeah.
But thank you for a question. The question's a question.
That is a question.
Okay. To the Baltimore airport. He's getting closer and closer. He's really trying to find out. Okay, so listen, we're gonna move on.
That
Um,
part.
Steiner Studios is at the Brooklyn Naval Yard, and Naval Yard has been up there for 50s, 60s for military craft building, but abandoned. Okay, so if I'm going back to your question, Devon, based on the information you're given, if it's a naval yard and it's and then the lines that are running, they've actually run the lines underground what they need to do. Yeah, anything you can start building on that already has some infrastructure in place. I mean, I'm sure then if that's the case, it's got power going there, or the ability to have power, probably gas lines already as well. You got some stuff that's probably been cut off and sealed off, but still available. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do new construction, we're still talking new construction. You said land, you didn't say anything about a building. So that means if you're going to put in a new structure and you got those things already there, yeah, that getting the zoning and all the stuff that you need to get done to make that happen, it already exists. Yeah, I say that's a sweet deal. Well, I don't know if it's a sweet deal. I don't know how much money they're trying to charge, but yeah, I think I think that I would like to, if I'm going to do something from scratch, be able to start with some foundations already put in place, electrical, plumbing, gas lines. Absolutely. So I hope I answered your question.
Okay. No, I
Excellent.
love the question. And the thoughtfulness of the question. You really have been looking, Devon. I'm I'm pleased. This is great. Um,
But let me add this though, and it's all depending what you want to do. If you're talking about housing, or if you're talking about setting up some kind of business, trying to be like 50 Cent and start a G in studios, right? You need that space and you need all that, and then you're gonna get all kind of government financing. If you definitely gonna help build up community, you're gonna definitely get this, the people to get behind you and give you all kind of plans. Now, um, for housing, especially if you're starting, I looked at a building, if you remember, a 5-story. They wanted to add 3 stories to it. They start doing the numbers. It start coming in close to around $10 million. And I was excited about the concept and trying to get people involved. But everybody that I tried to speak to, that were investors, said, I want my money to turn around faster than that. And unless I just had a lot of money to just go throw into it, I'd rather you go get a 3-family, 5-family house that we can actually just do a few $100s, $1,000 worth of work to get people in and start generating money before I go into something like that, because that winds up being a money pit. Unless you got tons of money sitting, it's not a good idea to do that. So I'm saying all that to you to say, what is it for? All that stuff plays a part. And the reason I'm sticking with your question, because you're the only one so far who's asked the question. Um, it's very important what you're going to use the project for, what you think the investment is going to be to do it, and what you're going to think, and what you think. What's your ultimate goal with it? Let me see if you answered that.
let's see.
Is it better to buy undeveloped land as opposed to renovating? Okay, yeah, I think that's the question we asked in the beginning. All over again.
Oh, he put it at the bottom.
Entertainment for TV, film, and rehearsal. Who's financing that? Who's financing that? What kind of money is that going to cost to build it? Because again, you're talking about building a whole building. That's the electrical and everything. You got your wires and stuff run there, but now that's a project. I mean, I've done in addition to a house, and realize, the zoning and all the stuff you have to go through first to make that happen. And I'm talking about a house I already owned. I was just adding an addition to it. So it's kind of involved. If you want to build a studio, for starters, not have that kind of weight over your head, my suggestion would be you go and rent something and build your studio and let that studio grow where it will now pay. If you think about it, 50 Cent is building this whole um, studio now, but for the longest, he just was renting studios. So he got very popular and very successful. And then he said, okay, now I go buy my studio. I believe one phase of a business operation should pay for the next. I don't think that you should go in deep, deep like that and say, okay, now let's see if it works. I've done some projects like that and they've blown up in my face. I think you should do what is necessary to build something. I would say rent, especially if you're not talking about homes. And this is important because people need homes. People don't need offices. So if you do an office and you renting out offices, people have a better chance of bailing on you than somebody's like, well, I live here, I don't want to get put out of my home. So I would say get an office space in the name of a business, not in your own name, so that you're not tied to it, and then build there, start there, let it grow, and then let it pay for the next phase, and the next phase, and the next phase. I'm gonna speak on it a little bit deeper. So I've seen people that say they want to go, and I did this before with the church in the beginning. Okay, we started out the church. We went and got top of the line audio equipment and video, this and that. Now I made sure I saved money. I didn't go ridiculous. I didn't go get $10,000 cameras and stuff like that. But we had monitors and speakers and mixer boards and all this kind of stuff. And you're doing that with hopes that it's going to generate what you want it to generate. For us, it worked out fine because I know how to shop and buy stuff. Remember we went and bought the little cheap TVs and we just hooked them up and made them monitors. Um, but I've seen people go in, and I've done it too, and say, I'm going to put all this money into this because it's going to blow up and everything's going to work. And then it just didn't pan out the way I thought it was or would. And then I'd be out $20,000, I'm never going to see again. Now that's part of business. You don't invest in yourself. You don't take a chance. Scare money, as they used to say in the street, don't make no money. But we don't want stupid money either. We don't want to throw and big mistake that a lot of new entrepreneurs make, and I want you to be careful of, is you figure you keep throwing money at a problem and the problem will fix itself. You don't throw money at a problem. What you do is you throw solution at the problem and see if it corrects itself. And if it doesn't, then you have to have the wisdom to say, this ain't working out the way I want it to. Now, what we were going to talk about tonight was so different because let me not drift off. Am I answering your question? Because I see you have great and good. So am I answering his question?
Yes, and he added something else. We are thinking of buying some land, build a film studio, and around the area, put some lots out for maybe gyms, grocery store, housing. We are still in the brainstorming phases of it. Yes, you are. He said you're answering. You're doing great.
Okay. Yeah. Then I would definitely build that business so that business pays for it. Right. I wrote my first book, Harvest Time, and I just really was of that belief: if you build it, they will come. They didn't come. They didn't come. So everybody kept saying to me, you need to write another book. You need to write another book. You need to write another book. But in myself, I kept saying, no, I need to build a following and a demand for my book and then write my book. So when we started doing the oil, I told Nelly the same thing. No, we are not going full scale, trying to build all this gigantic infrastructure and then hope we can make. We're going to create a following, take the following you already have. We're going to, reach out and develop a new following, and then let their orders dictate how much we produce. And so that's why we said no. I said the best thing to do is to release it, do a shipping once a month. Running to the post office every time you get 2 orders, you're going to go broke. See, these are the kind of things you have to think about when you're doing the business. So no, we're not going to just keep, you know, doing a little here and a little there. So we figure at least if we ship the 15th of every month, you got enough orders together, and you go and you release those orders. Now we're starting to build the following of more people. We're going out in public. We're getting table. We're setting up in public. We're going and meeting people. And now it's creating a situation where to create the situation where I went and got the bottle filler, right? But that only cost 100 something bucks, right? Bottle filler has now saved us so much time, and time is money. So, okay, in the near future, we may need to get another bottle filler and another person. But for now, we're going to let what's being done pay for what needs to be done. And that, my dear brother, I'm going to keep saying that. Start it and then let the next phase of it be paid for by the present phase. Well, if you just spend more money, it'll probably do better. It usually won't. Usually won't, because it's what's usually missing from a business, which is something that we didn't have, and that's marketing and sales. Well, I'm gonna go hire a marketing person. You're just gonna throw your money in the toilet. Just go out there and market yourself, promote yourself, sell your idea. Now, switching up on you, Devon, but staying in the same point. If investors are coming in, and real investors are not going to do this, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you get family and friends to do it, and then you don't make their money, then your family and friends are going to be pissed at you, and you're going to have, ruin some relationships. You don't want to do that either. Um, but if investors come in and they see it and they say, hey, I'm behind this, I want to do it, that's a good situation, because they already see the value and they already know, if they're a real investor, if has a great possibility and something that can be done, let's do this. But like I said, it's like you trying to do Tyler Perry and G Unit Studios straight out the box, which I'm impressed by. But a lot of times it just don't flow that way. And even if you bring investors in who see that, they're going to want to pretty much own the idea, because they're going to say, well, we're putting up all the money. So, start small. Start, and I don't mean small like tiny small, like, have a big dream, but start with something that can produce and show you that you have a market and a marketplace that loves what you want. 50 Cent had no choice but to build a studio.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, don't lean back, because okay. 50, yes, my dear. My fiance is saying, sit up straight, stop leaning back. Yes, dear. I'm sorry. Okay. So he did so many things with so many different companies. And if you think about it, he still like went in with other companies to do this project. Tyler Perry don't own all Tyler Perry Studios. He got other people um, that have a nice percentage of Tyler Perry Studios. And these are the things that you're gonna learn as you do it. But you know what I'm loving? You're asking the question, and you wouldn't be getting these answers if you weren't asking these questions. So respect. This is Devon night.
Well, I'm getting some from this too. This is all stuff that you've taught us, but like you said, you can have the big dream, and as you're working toward the dream, let the dream pay for itself. Let it demand or command that, okay, we have to scale, because now we're getting, like in the case of your oil, we got too many orders. Now we have to be, in order to keep up with the demand coming in. Um, so yeah, and you said something about renting, and I'm like, okay. So, you'd have a business and you rent, and then you start making enough money, or you start growing out of the space. Now it's time to think about, all right, can I purchase? Is this the time to buy? Should I bring investors in? Like, where am I? But like you said, it demands that conversation now, because you've already started one, right? Get started. And now you're on the road and things are starting to present themselves. I love this conversation.
We're still making oil in the house. We're not gonna go buy no space. We're not gonna go rent out anywhere. Why? Why give them that money? Think about, even with the church. I bought that building for the church because the church was already paying that much and more to rent somebody else's space.
Yeah.
So I bought something that matched the size of what the church was already able to do. You see what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I wanted being less than what we were paying for at the other place. So
Oh.
yeah, because they were charging us, like at that time, like $4,500 for that space, and I got a whole building where the mortgage to me was like 3,500. Well, close to 4,000, about 4,000, and I was like, okay, and I never, charged the church more than what the mortgage was. So I let the next thing pay for the next thing. So I'm always a fan of that. Like, it sounds like it's fun to just, well, I'm just going, and there's another mistake I used to make, D, and this would be helpful for you. And yeah, now I'm not taking out no loans. I'm doing it out of my pocket. I'm going to spend all my money. I'm going to do it myself. I had that kind of dumb idea for a very long time, up until very recently. I got free from that. Um, Apple takes out loans when they built this new um, um, campus that they built, the big circle. They took out loans. Do you really think Apple needs to take out a loan?
I would like to think not.
No, but they leverage income, they leverage finance. They try to keep as much money in the bottom line that they can
Mm.
while they're doing it. So, case in point, I started, putting doing this thing in Florida now where I'm putting cars on Turo and I'm renting them. And I'm like, well, for the price, I could go buy a few cars, 15,000, 20,000. I can go buy 3 or 4 of them myself. And somebody said, why would you do that? You can get a business loan. That's a small amount of money with the amount of money you have in the bank, that they would leverage you that money. They would give you that money to buy the car, and you still have that money in your bank building interest. Why would you take that money out? Nah, I don't want to owe nobody. What are you talking about? It's a business venture. You
Mm.
buy it in the name of the business. You put the cars out there, and you put them on the market, and you rent them. And that's what you do. Now, if you don't know what Toro is like. Do you know what Toro is?
I've used it before, actually. So
Right.
yeah, but no, but definitely explain it because from your end it might be different.
So Toro is like it's like now, just like Uber has replaced taxis and stuff. Toro is replacing rental car company Hertz and Avis and all of that, where you can take your own car and put it up on the market and rent it. When I got a couple of cars that don't have any note on them, right? So I'm like, well, they can, like, when I'm down in Florida, my BMW seven is sitting in the garage for weeks and weeks. I'm putting it on an auto train this week. It's going to Florida. You know what I'm saying? I can get some good money off of that. So what you gonna buy what you gonna have when you get here? I'm gonna buy a hoopty. I'm gonna buy something to get me around while I'm here. And then I might, if it's new enough, which it will be, I'm gonna take it down there and throw it on Toro. The bottom line is there's a lot of money to be made down there in the Miami area with people, and people saying, well, you got to get luxury cars. This one guy came to me that wanted to do it with me. He said, we can get like a Lamborghini, or we could get a loan, we get that. And I said, the average person wants an economy car. Maybe one day we'll do Lambos and all of that. But today, I'm doing Honda Accords and Toyota Corollas. I mean, this is what people want. They're dependable cars, and you can put them suckers on the market, and you can make your money on it. So don't get into this. Well, I'm gonna spend all my money. I'm gonna go and listen. Spend other people's money. OPM they call it. Now I didn't make that up. OPP copied off of OPM. OPM's been around a very, very long time, right? It's a real business technical term, and they
Okay.
just they were just creative and flipped it around and made it into a song. But OPM means other people's money, and that's what most people do. So as you go forward to do what you're going to do, little brother, definitely think about investors, and again, think about building enough, because if you bring an investor in your project right now, they're taking most of it because you got an idea, they got the money. You don't have the means. But if you got a following and you got a demand, that demand is worth more than their money. And now you negotiate the deal from your angle, because you like, yeah, well, you got money, but I got the consumers. I got the people. I got the buyers. You just got money, and money without what I got is just money sitting. Now they're coming in as investors and not as co-owners, unless you decide to give them percentages, but you have negotiation power that you didn't have before because you have consumers. You got market share. And market share is worth to investors a lot of times more than somebody who got money. Money sitting is just money sitting.
Oh
Oh
man.
boy, I can go so many places with this. And do you know that if you just got money sitting in bank accounts, you really doing yourself a disservice, because money in bank accounts, believe it or not, are losing value. I'm all over the place because we're just in a different place right now. Money sitting in bank accounts loses value. As the price of goods go up, the price of your money sitting in the bank account don't. So what your money could buy when you put it in the bank account, 5 years from now, it can't buy anymore.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, I'm kicking
What
it.
do you,
Go for
so
it.
what do you think about these high yield interest accounts? Is that something you would recommend people get into instead of having it in a regular bank account? Money sitting in a
Think about, first of all, yes.
okay.
Yes. Only money I leave in the bank account is money that I need from day to day, week to week, get by money. But any money I have over 20,000, 30,000, it's not going to sit in a bank account. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to sit in something that's paying me some kind of interest. Like people teach you, don't use credit cards, never use credit cards. I believed in that stupidity for a long time. And yeah, don't use credit cards if you don't know how to handle your money and you spend more than you need to be spending. Absolutely not. Stay away from them. But I will not use a debit card. I use a credit card because my credit cards got 5% cash back, 3% cash back, 2% cash back, building up bonus flying travel miles. I'm making money now. Then I just pay it off every month. I use it like it's a debit, but then I make sure I pay it. My point is, there's so many systems. Absolutely, you let you sit your money somewhere where it's making money. Open up a business, a LLC, which we were going to do today, but the system screwed up. We were going to walk through the different types of corporations and which ones you should consider: LLC, LLP, and S corp, C corp. We had a whole presentation, but the system decided that we're not doing it today. So, all right, fine, we'll do it next week. But everything that you can put your money in that makes some kind of money is, and hopefully something enough where the market share or inflation is kind of matching your interests. The idea is keeping your money valuable. When people think putting money in the bank makes money, or even putting it under a mattress. Okay, fine. It was $1,000 when you put it under the mattress, and when you bought the mattress was $200 or $100. Now the mattress is $500 or $1,000, so your $1,000 ain't worth squat. It's worth the mattress that's on top of it now is worth more than it. You got to think about stuff like that. It's a lot of these little things people tell us when we're trying to be entrepreneurs and grow that we don't know because we have an employee's mentality. And all of those little lines and stories are usually created by people that have never stepped out and had their own business, and also created by people that's trying to keep you, a servant to them. So yeah, don't use debt to buy luxuries or to buy little happiness moments. But use debt to create wealth building projects. So now I just realized there are banks that specifically will give you money to buy cars that Toro will aim you at so that you can build the fleet. Why would Toro do that? Because they're getting 20% of everything you make. So it's like a net benefit to say, yes, let's get you some cars. Let's get you out there and get you making this money. It don't cost us nothing to point you to a bank. So I said, well, I'm gonna start with one car. I got three. I'm gonna start with one, and I'm gonna get really, really good with it, and I'm gonna work my way around it until I figure out how it works. Then I'll add another. Somebody said to me, "You already got a fleet. You got three cars." I was like, "I didn't think of three cars as a fleet, but yeah, it's a small fleet, but it's a fleet." These are the things that you just learn to leverage money to work for you, not work for money. And I've been pretty good at that for at least a couple of decades now, and I'm trying to get better at it now and go to the next level. So I appreciate your questions because they're good questions, and it get your mind thinking. I know your wife let me know that she was going into business with her sister, and I just to say I almost cried. I actually did because they around me and they're listening to me talk, and I'm like, okay, yeah, they're helping with vision builders, but is it making a difference in their life? Because that's my main concern. Are people's lives being changed by what I'm saying? Not just being encouraged, and to hear
Right.
them sit down and break down a business plan of what they want to do, I was like, oh my God, it's working. So that's a beautiful thing, and I'm very grateful for that. Whole different story, but I needed to go there.
No, that's that. And I know you hear this often, and I want to make it clear that what you are teaching us, we are learning, we are taking it. What you said today, start small. I used to be, and that's past, used to be the person that would think, oh, it has to be perfect. Now I'm starting to make, little steps, and I'm like, wow, this wasn't so hard. Like, you know,
Remember
okay,
that video I did fail
yes,
early and get it out the way?
right. Just like, okay, it's not all we think it is. Like, take the small steps. And then you realize one day you're there and you're like, oh, that was it? That was it? Okay. No, this is good. This is really good. I'm excited
Hey,
about all the
Pablo, I think
stories.
you in the wrong chat. He said the baby wasn't mine. I, I ain't had nobody, baby. I don't know what you talk about. I ain't accuse you of no having no baby, and I'm sure Edward hasn't. So
No, no,
if you
sir.
was just trying to be funny, you succeeded. Good job. Welcome. As long as you keep it clean, you're welcome to stay. We love you. It's good stuff. The baby wasn't mine. That's funny. Listen, we appreciate the interaction. Where are we now? Okay, so time wise, it looks like we're coming to the end of our journey. If anybody has any other questions, and Devon, thank you so much for your questions. You always come and lighten up the room with questions and conversation, and we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Anybody else have any question before we run? If not, we're gonna say goodbye.
Yes. But Devon is coming to win this year. Like, we can see that.
Yeah, and his
Um,
wife. They're not playing.
and yes, the shepherds.
Listen, power couple. That's what I'm talking about.
Love it, love it,
I'm
love
looking
it.
forward to it.
Are you gonna rewatch this video? Yes. All right. Awesome. Okay. Okay, Devon. Wonderful. No, there was a lot of good nuggets here, and I'm hoping that oh, Ruth is Ruth is there. Of course you're there, Ruth. Um yeah, I'm hoping that people will replay. There were a few people that rushed in, but they go back and they listen, like the video, if anything in here has helped you, and I know there's going to be a few things, and comment in the chat. If you have questions, even Mr. Brown can go back and see. So go ahead and put your questions, your comments in the chat. We'll go back and we'll respond. It doesn't have to end here.
And if technology keep acting stupid, we'll just go on like this until we get all the technology exactly the way it need to be. We're gonna figure it out. But I know definitely I need a producer who handles this while I just sit up here and be cute. I don't want to be having to handle all the stuff in the background. But again, I'm starting out small, working. Listen, I got to click all the buttons myself, and I had to learn all this stuff. I didn't know how to do all of this video stuff, music production stuff. I'm off the chain with that. But this here, there's a whole new world for me. But we're doing it, doing it, and doing it well. So
Yes, this video will be posted tonight, shortly after we end the live. It'll be there for everybody to rewatch, and we encourage you to do that. Yeah, this is
this is
great.
good. Well, guys, love and appreciation across the board. This was great. It was a good conversation. And I spoke to Edwidge and I said, I don't want to do no bunch of slideshow stuff anymore. That stuff is boring. I've been watching other people's videos. People just get up here and they just kick it like I just kicked it tonight. And I saw that has a better impact. So I'm gonna get off of here and then I'm gonna go jump on TikTok and just go talk on there for a little bit and see what people want to talk about. And so, yeah, if they want to keep
Awesome.
hanging out, you can come on over there and hang out. I'm gonna go live on TikTok and find a subject to talk about.
Okay. We'll see everybody on TikTok. That should be great. I'm gonna definitely be on there and I'll share it. Um, yeah, this is great.
I'll
But
put my hat this way for TikTok. It's a different look.
whatever works, Mr. Brown.
I can't
we're gonna
cap.
cater. We're gonna cater to the audience. However,
I'm gonna put. I don't know, but um, if we Nelly, if we can create a background, I would so love it. I know I don't know my way around there, so I'm going to be in there just knocking it around.
no, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun. You're on TikTok, in conversations, but I guess hosting is going to be different. But that should be
Hosting is
nice.
different. Yeah, I
Yeah,
jump in other people's conversations, yeah, all the time.
yeah, it
And
should
when
be
they
good.
see me too, they get excited. They're like, "Oh,
Oh,
Vision is
so then
here!
your people's are gonna come through then.
Vision is here tonight. Want to know
Love
what you
it.
think?" I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, it's fun.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
with all that, I'm going to say good night, love and blessings to everybody.
Good night. See you all next week, Tuesday at 7. And if you'd like to follow us on TikTok, we'll be there shortly. Look out for us. Good night.
Good night.